Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this timeline. And we are going to have a look at some interesting charts in today's video. I want to have a look at the Grayscale investment holdings right now because something has been changing over there. We are going to investigate basically this specific chart, which is the Dixie chart, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why this chart is actually so important right now and what it's basically telling us as well. We are going to have a look at the stablecoin dominance. A very interesting chart as well, guys, because I believe this chart really holds the answers for the next period that we basically want to take profits in our crypto holdings. So let's jump straight into it. And I want to start off with the Dixie, guys. And the Dixie, for the ones that don't know what the Dixie is, that is the dollar index, the US dollar index, and basically shows the strength of the US dollar index. And the reason why this chart is actually so interesting is because it correlates with investors' behavior in terms of taking on risks. And like in specific Bitcoin, right? So if we just overlay Bitcoin, for example, to this chart, and we are going to have a look at the broad terms right here, at the broad trends right here. So maybe we can even change the color for Bitcoin slightly so it becomes a little bit more clear. Let's make it orange because Bitcoin is orange. And yeah, we are right now looking on the weekly time frame. So what I want to do with you guys is just want to have a look at certain trend changes in the US dollar index, which basically shows that investors' behavior is changing. So we have a low right here in the US dollar index, and that is a reversal. So it goes from a declining phase. During that declining phase, you can actually see from here that's Bitcoin is actually going up. That was the 2017 bull market, guys. The moment Bitcoin tops, that is actually right before the Dixie bottoms. Then the Dixie goes into an uptrend, as you can see right here. And Bitcoin basically during this whole period is in a downtrend. It is in a downtrend, even though we had a rally during the early 2019, summer 2019. Dixie was moving sideways during that rally. So here you can already see no strong upwards movement in the Dixie. But the moment the Dixie topped right here, that was the moment the Bitcoin bottomed. And then the Dixie rolled over, so the US dollar index, the strength of the dollar decreases. And we have seen Bitcoin just going to a massive bull market, as you can see right here. That was the previous bull market in 2021 until the Dixie kind of bottomed. And as you can see, this is pretty funny. So we have in Bitcoin, we have a top and another top, which is a double top, right? And the Dixie, we do the exact opposite, double bottom. Then the Dixie goes into an uptrend until we are seeing a top in the Dixie. We still had like slightly afterwards we had a low in Bitcoin. So as you can see, there's some delays in this chart. And this is even a weekly chart, so that is very interesting. But what we are seeing right now, guys, and this is actually very bullish for Bitcoin, is that the Dixie tried to break out right here, didn't work, and now it's coming down. And while the Dixie is coming down, so far we are seeing Bitcoin coming down as well. But the interesting thing right here, guys, which I want to share with you in today's video, is that time, one of the most important aspects in this equation, is lining up very interesting. And why is that? Well, if we have a look at the Dixie, right, I'm just going to give a potential structure right here. We could have, for example, like a 1, 2, 3, 4 correction, 5, like a 5-wave move. A, B, C correction to the downside could be that we right now in that latest leg, which can bring a very big rally in risk on assets. That's in stocks, that's in crypto. And if we look at the pattern, and I can show it to you maybe in candles because that might make it a little bit more clearer. If we zoom in on the candlesticks right here, you see the Dixie is plummeting. It's really plummeting right now. Actually, today it has been plummeting, and this is a very good sign, of course, because the weaker the US dollar becomes, the more the US dollar is going to seek refuge, is going to fly to different assets. And we are already seeing Bitcoin going up a little bit in the shorter term time frame. But just looking at this chart, the Dixie, it looks like the Dixie already topped. The Dixie already topped, like similar like we have seen, for example, right here. The Dixie has stopped, right? Bitcoin goes up. Dixie has stopped, right? Bitcoin goes up, at least in these shorter term time frames. Then we have here the Dixie topped. And what do we have right here? Bitcoin goes from 20,000 all the way up to 30,000. So right now, what do we see? It looks like the Dixie has topped. But, and this is the interesting thing, we have not yet seen that rally in Bitcoin. And why is time so important? Because I've been talking about the 60-day cycle for quite a while, guys. And the 60-day cycle has finished. It looks like it has finished. On the 28th of February, we have seen the cycle low. Right? If we have a look at the Dixie is already rolling over, but we needed to get that low in Bitcoin on around the 28th of February, which we got exactly on the 28th of February. So right now we've entered a new cycle with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin potentially can go up, and we are seeing, and that's why it's so interesting, we are seeing that confirmation in the Dixie, and it's actually even better that the Dixie, and let me get rid of the Bitcoin chart right here, it's actually even better that the Dixie tried to break this channel to the upside, and it didn't work, and it's rolling over, because this is a failed attempt of breakout, and a failed attempt of breakout is of course extra bearish. And this red candle that we are seeing right now, guys, this is a taste of what we are going to get. For example, what we have seen right here. This is a pre-taste of it, and that means that there is going to flow money. At least that's what this chart is telling us. There's going to flow money to risk-on assets, to crypto. So we can look for fun again, see what Bitcoin did when the Dixie topped right here. Well, when the Dixie topped right here, that was the FTX crash. Well, actually, guys, you can see that there's a small delay. So we had the Dixie top right here. And then when the Dixie topped, it took a couple of weeks for Bitcoin to finally capitulate, because Bitcoin also has their own cycles, of course. But eventually, you can see when this rolls over, it was really good for Bitcoin. A lot of liquidity got injected into Bitcoin, and we are seeing something similar happening right now. This is an extra confirmation, guys, that everything that we have been saying for the past couple of weeks and months, that this is just an extra confirmation. So if you are confused, if you are uncertain about what's going to happen, then this is just a positive sign for prices to continue to go up, at least until this move is done. And this is why I think we're going to have to find the answer in when to take profits. We're going to have to find that answer in different charts than Bitcoin. We are not going to find that answer in the Bitcoin chart, because when this chart comes to this support, this might be an interesting moment. But maybe we're going to break that support, and the middle of this channel is going to be very interesting. I would lean personally more to this scenario, although I'm going to look how this is going to play out as well. I want to see how the market is at this specific moment. But nevertheless, these will be significant moments in the Dixie, and when we can see the reaction in the Dixie, it will give us a confirmation or clarification on what is going to happen with Bitcoin, as we have a small delay right here. So bottoming in the Dixie and the Dixie going up, that is actually very bearish, although there are some exceptions, as you can see right here. So this is where the Dixie actually went up, and we saw Bitcoin also going up during this time. So we have here the Dixie actually bottoming, actually going up right here together with Bitcoin. So generally, guys, there is an inverse correlation, but as you can see, sometimes it's not always that accurate. There's a delay now and then, but the Dixie coming down right here is definitely positive for risk on assets. Then I want to bring your attention to the following chart, guys, and this is the chart that we've been looking at for many times. This is the stablecoin dominance chart, and what we can see right here is that we are in a falling wedge formation, and something that is a little bit scary from this chart that I just wanted to have set during this video is if we go on a weekly time frame, and the weekly is not yet closed, so we still have 3 to 4 days left until we close this weekly candle. But the scary thing about this weekly candle is not in the charts but in the relative strength index. So we have a declining resistance right here on the relative strength index that has been created since 2022. And this is not yet confirmed, so we need 4 days. So when this chart is just going to come down right now, this will end up as resistance, right? So this will tell us exactly where the stablecoin dominance wants to break out to. And it looks like we are going to form like a triangle formation right here, and which is going to be somewhat like this. And the breakout of this triangle formation, guys, that one is going to be phenomenal, because the breakout of this triangle formation will be a very clear indicator of the direction of crypto, which can help us to make better investment decisions. So this is something we have to look at. And the advantage that we have right here, guys, is that most people, they are not really looking at these charts. Most people are just looking at the crypto chart itself. But as you can recall from my previous videos, we actually have been taking profits in crypto, especially in XRP, right here when this one was at the lows. I've been saying like, yo, we are most likely going to bounce from here, so it's better to take profits. I definitely way too early reinvested those funds. I had to wait longer. It will never be perfect, but it was a very good call, and we made that call basically only based on this chart, which a lot of people, most people, they don't look at this chart. Now, guys, we're going to the next part of the video. This was, of course, very technical, but yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I really like these charts because they just give an extra dimension to analyzing, right? But if we go to the following part of the video, guys, and this is the Grayscale investment holdings, and something just completely changed right here, which I just refreshed this page and I was like, what? So the biggest holding of Grayscale, which is an institutional investment platform, is Bitcoin. Of course, obvious is Bitcoin. The second one is Ethereum. There's a big difference between the Bitcoin holdings and Ethereum holdings, also probably because Bitcoin has seen a bigger rally than Ethereum. This will change, of course, in the next coming months when the prices are going to adjust from altcoins. But after that, guys, actually Litecoin was the third biggest holding of Grayscale investment. They also have a Litecoin ETF already filed with the SEC, waiting to be approved because they have a Litecoin trust. They want to transfer that to a Litecoin ETF. That should be a simple process. If the SEC will approve it, that can actually be approved already this month. No guarantees, of course, but it's interesting because the Ethereum Classic just flipped Litecoin. So they just now, the third biggest holding of Grayscale investments is Ethereum Classic. And what I find interesting is if you scroll through their tokens, through all their tokens, it's very interesting because they have a lot of Dino tokens in there. They have Ethereum Classic. Well, no one is talking about Ethereum Classic right now, but guys, this can be a subject people talk about in the future because Ethereum is experiencing some problems, and Ethereum Classic is basically the very first version of Ethereum, and the Ethereum that we have now is a adjusted version of the original idea, which is right now Ethereum Classic. So it would be epic, guys, and possible that Ethereum Classic somewhat is going to make a comeback, but this is going to be a very high risk type of speculation. But it's not a narrative. It's not a narrative that is really far away from our from the reality, I believe. And then we have Litecoin as the fourth biggest holding. It used to be the third biggest holding, so that just changed. Then we have Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, also a Dino token, very old. It's a fork of the Bitcoin blockchain. Then we have Solana, and this is interesting because Solana, XLM, Chainlink are basically tokens that are very high in coin market cap, with one of the biggest market caps out there. But even though that's the case, these are the biggest tokens, bigger than Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. Grayscale chooses to hold Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash above Solana, XLM, Chainlink. I find that choice very, very interesting, and I do believe personally that they have their reasons for that. And the crazy thing right here, guys, is we don't even see XRP in this chart yet. But yeah, then we have Zcash, also a Dino token. The other ones I don't know, except for Val token. The Val token I find very interesting too. I find the chart of Val token is actually looking pretty good. But I want to focus, guys. That was my point actually. I want to focus on Ethereum Classic because I mentioned this token a couple of times to you. Because if we go to Ethereum Classic, to the chart, then we can see, and this is, I really find this interesting, because this is a macro view of this chart. We have a very beautiful channel right here. And right now we are at the bottom of the channel. We have a curvy bottom, which is like one of the perfect bottoms you actually want to see. You want to see a curvy bottom right here. Because this means that this is complete capitulation. It's getting exhausted. There's a low. Everyone is gone. This is most likely the bottom, and then we can just relaunch into new highs. And when we have a look at the relative strength index, we do have somewhat of an uptrend as well forming on the relative strength index. That is a confirmation again that momentum in the background of this chart on a macro scale is boiling up. Let's go to the daily time frame, guys. I find it also very interesting to have a look at this. Here on the daily time frame, as you can see, we are dipping into that support. So far, it looks like the support is being bought up. Bullish divergences on the daily time frame. I'm expecting, guys, that this chart will slowly grind up and eventually will take off. And if we are going back to the resistance, I mean, that's of course not a guarantee, but I just want to make you aware of the following thing. This is really, for me personally, guys, this is really what investing is all about. So when I see a chart like this, for me, investing is about this. You can enter Ethereum Classic at the support right here. You can set, for example, a stop loss right here. You can set the stop loss right here. You don't have to set a stop loss that once it hits, your tokens are sold. No, you can just set a imaginary stop loss, and whenever the token does something like this, then you get out, right? So you potentially lose from here. You can potentially lose maybe, let's say, depending on your risk, of course, 30%, maybe 40%, you can lose, right? That is what investing is all about. It's about taking risk. But the potential gain, look at this, it's like 1,800%, maybe even 2,000%, 3,000%. And you can actually maybe take profits along the way. You have 300%, 400%, maybe even 100% or 150%. It doesn't really matter because this is really what investing for me is all about. You want to take charts where you look at it, you think okay, I'm willing to lose on this. Because when I'm losing, I'm just risking let's say 10 to 20, 30%. But when I'm right, if my analysis is right and the structure tells me that there is a high likelihood that I'm right on this, I can actually gain 2, 3, 4, 500% up to 1,000%. That is a good deal. You want to look in the market for good deals. If this chart, to be honest, if this chart is going up and you are right here, it's not a good deal anymore, because the potential to come down is way bigger than where we are right now. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you guys, because this is really what investing is all about. You want to have timing, you want to have beautiful charts, and you want to have good deals. It's all about a good deal. And this looks to me right now, even though this coin is completely forgotten, and that's maybe the reason why it looks like a good deal, because this coin is forgotten, and that's why this coin is at support. But there are still institutional investors that are holding this coin. There's a reason for that. They also like they also like the risk on this token, right? Otherwise they would have sold this token already. So yeah, this, and I want to actually have a look at how this one looks against Bitcoin. And I can say already right now, I haven't looked at this chart. I have not looked at this chart, guys. So this is a spontaneous reaction you get from me, but I could already smell, I tell you, I could already smell that this chart is looking good. And now, looking at this chart, guys, I can tell you already directly, this is looking extremely good. And the moment I'm going to like end the recording of this video, I'm going to dump some money in Ethereum Classic. Because for me, this is really beautiful. We have like somewhat of a support right here. The last time, from the levels we are right now, the last time we touched that level, it was in 2020, guys. It is 5 years ago that we touched this level. And when we touched this level, we pumped against Bitcoin 1300%. Again, guys, this is by no means any guarantee, and this one can break out to the downside, right? It can break out to the downside, but for me personally, it is looking good. Maybe an A, B, C correction. I'm just like I said, this is a spontaneous thing because I'm just looking at this chart. I just bring it up. I just find it interesting that I saw this one going up the ladder at Grayscale. So I thought let's just take a little bit of let's just have a glimpse at it. I find this chart looking good, and I can already tell you right now, and I have not looked at this as well. If I open the momentum indicators on this chart, we will see bullish divergences. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's have a look at, for example, the relative strength index. So we go to the relative strength index. And yeah, we can take away this one. And yeah, guys, we are seeing bullish divergences on both of them. So if we look at from this low and this low, it's a higher low right now. This is like a similar, but we can see already right here, momentum indicators coming up. On the daily time frame, it will be more visible as well. But on the weekly time frame right here, we're also setting higher lows. And if we go to the daily time frame, guys, it will be more clear. So we have nice higher lows right here. And we have that on the relative strength index. We also somewhat of a uptrend forming while the chart is still coming down. And this is what I explained in yesterday's video as well, guys. The news follows the charts. So right now, no one is talking about Ethereum Classic, and it is at very low levels. And again, disclaimer, there is no guarantee that anything ever will happen with this token. But when I look at the charts, it's just setting up pretty nicely. It's presenting me with a good risk to reward ratio. For me, I'm willing to take the risk on this token with a certain amount of my portfolio. That's not going to be with a big amount of my portfolios, not even going to be with 5% of my portfolio, maybe a little bit less than 5% of my portfolio. I'm willing to basically take this risk, and then later, if my plan will follow suit, let's say it like that, if it will unfold, if the scenario that I'm anticipating will unfold, you will see many news outlets talking about, let's say, Ethereum is dead, users are going to use back Ethereum Classic, or some applications, decentralized exchanges, they are going to come to Ethereum Classic, or I don't know what the narrative is going to be, but it can be any narrative, right? Something is going wrong with Ethereum. The fees, for example, on Ethereum are way too high. So many users are going to use Ethereum Classic. You know, everything in this world moves in cycles. That's what I truly learned. Everything in this world moves in cycles. And yeah, some things that are forgotten, they can make a comeback. And like I said, it's not a guarantee. I just really want to hammer on that, guys. It's definitely not a guarantee. But this here, you get a glimpse for the ones that are maybe new to investing. Now you get a glimpse in how you want to invest, which attitude you want to have invest. Because if you always only invest on the good deals in the market. So with these structures at macro support, and no one is talking about it, and you are always taking the good deal, but you're taking a risk. So you will lose sometimes. You will lose sometimes. But if you always will take the good deals in the market, guys, you will eventually be very, very profitable. That's really how investing works. Okay, that was it for today's video, guys. I just wanted to share with you the Dixie that I'm seeing this right here. I find it very interesting because this just confirms the thesis and the timing of Bitcoin that maybe the coming weeks and months we are going to see upwards price movements. I find it very interesting development going on at Grayscale. But I also understand their reasoning. I understand why they are holding this token, and I'm going to follow suit as well. Okay, guys, thank you all for watching. Drop a thumbs up if you have not did so already. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, guys, make sure you have the bell notification on, because whenever we are hitting these important levels in the Dixie or in the stablecoin dominance, I will do my best to make a video out about it, so you guys will be updated whenever that happens. Also, I want to mention that in the Discord server, the community that we have, which is a beautiful community and everyone should join, definitely, because you will find like-minded people in this wealth transfer, which can be very helpful on a religious, a spiritual way, but also in an investment type of way. But I want to warn every single one of you, be careful, because there are really a lot of scammers and impersonators out there. If you join the Discord, everyone gets like approached by a fake account from which is impersonating me, asking for investment opportunities. Like, guys, I would never do something like that. So really be careful when you join these discords and stuff. If you get approached by an account that look like me, probably they have they changed one name, one letter in the name or something, block that person, ignore it. Be careful. Okay, guys, wish you all a beautiful day, and I hope to see you in the community server and in the next video. Okay, guys, bye bye.